for me, I think the biggest lesson of, it being the fourth birthday, or not the fourth birthday, the fourth BCH day, the fourth day anniversary of the fork, is that, I was not even necessarily involved in a lot of that intervening time period, the first three forks or whatever, but I came back and I plan to be here for the next one and the one after that because it's still here. Ultimately, that's something that you just cannot deny. Like a project that can win against the odds just time and time and time again is another thing that other communities find very hard to replicate or impossible to replicate, right? Like the BTC community, they absolutely love this whole thing of the Lindy effect, which is true, and the idea that basically something that's existed a long time is more likely to exist further in the future. And because the pyramids have been around for 5,000 years, they'll probably be around for another 5,000, as opposed to your house that was built 20 years ago, well, in 20 years time it might be gone, right? So they say, well, we have the longest running chain, therefore we have the best prospects into the future, and that's not something you can engineer. No matter how clever you are, you can't rewind time to make your coin have existed for longer. But Bitcoin Cash has existed just as long as BTC has, and it's been through a lot more trauma. It's people have fought harder over the idea. There's been more forks, there's been more chaos, and there's been more passion in the community that even without the price going through the roof and everybody thinking that they're going to get rich, people are still here. And that's going to just show massively, I think, in the next 1, 2, 3 years as the momentum starts to build.
I think you'd mentioned it in a previous podcast that we had done together, where like people kind of psychologically root for the underdog too, and that's another thing that Bitcoin Cash is going for it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not like a douchey underdog that's like, yeah, we're taking it all, like, or like we're trying to get there, like we just need people, like that's the big thing.
Yeah, it is a genuine story that I think people can connect with. Just even as simple as just we are the real Bitcoin, and then you've got to have a bit of like sympathy for the battlers who didn't get the brand name, but you literally just look in the white paper title and it says electronic cash. Anybody who was around, before the fork knows basically that that's what it was. I mean, limited exceptions, people will disagree, but for the most part, I think that's true of the early adopters. And then for everyone who came later, it really just needs to be as simple as hearing somebody say, have you read the white paper? No, look at that. And they read that and they think, oh, I see, because there's a very big difference between I heard about Bitcoin, somebody, telling me about it, or I bought some on Coinbase or whatever, versus I read the white paper and I started to think about the history and the technology and, what is money, and people can get excited about buying Bitcoin without any of that. But it's very hard to get excited about Bitcoin Cash unless you've done your homework in that front.